So let's talk about what Twitter is. Twitter is a microblog. Why it is popular is because you basically have people who are following you. And those followers will look at their alerts and they'll see what you just put out there. And this is the thing, is if they're not on right when you tweet, you push down their list. So why people often retweet things or put things up over and over is because that person may not have seen it. So just because you put it up at, let's say, 10 a.m. in the morning, someone may not have seen it because it fell down their tweet list. It's almost like following a conversation. If you're not on, has you guys ever watched that, like when you're watching like the polls or the elections, if you're not looking at it right when someone puts up their chat message, you won't see it. It pushes it down. Twitter works very much the same way. So that's one of the things that you should understand about people who are following you. They don't always see things right away. I have a question.
I just have a question. How many hours a day does the average person just sit and look at their computer monitor?
28.
I mean, this stuff, how do you get work done if you're just looking at the monitor all day? I don't get it.
Well, the biggest thing here is, that's a great question. I think the question is important. I think we need to address it. Is one of the biggest things I tell people to do is you cannot do it all. What we're talking about is ideas that go into a strategy, but you cannot do it all. And if you are going to be doing something like Twitter, you do have to recognize that if you really want to get value out of it, you need to do it a couple of times a day, and you also need to be retweeting, or what we often say, it's like you telling me about a great article, I need to tell all my friends about that article. That's also how you get more followers, because the more you give me for information, the more I spread to other people, the more people want to be part of your circle. Okay, so, but it is something that takes a fair amount of time. I'm going to talk about a tool in a second that will save you hours, but this is one thing you do want to realize. This may not be the right strategy for your associations. So that's one thing to think about. One of the things you want to realize also about Twitter, it's not just text. We don't just put things up there about what we're doing in our day. You're sharing links about things that may have to do with, you know, your organization, your society, that may affect the people in your society. Very important. But you also use things like questions. Ask questions. Get them engaged. You can actually run polls on Twitter. So if you want to do some research, this can be a great way to do this. Also, people don't realize you can actually even tweet pictures. So, you know, even today you could have taken a picture of what was going on here today and tweeted something like that, if that was going to be of value to your audience. And I think that's an important thing to remember. It has to be of value to the audience.